A suppressed anthropological study, funded by a dark money group you've never heard of, revealed a chilling truth. It proved that the most boring memories, the quiet moments you might dismiss, are actually the deepest roots of a family's resilience. This finding, they discovered, could empower elders like you to eternalize your voice, to make your wisdom utterly unavoidable for generations. They offered its author a fortune to bury it, to keep it quiet. Because if you knew the secret, if you understood the raw power locked in those seemingly insignificant stories, you could break free from the invisible cage built around you by the cult of novelty, by family amnesia, by a system that desperately needs your unique, hard-won wisdom to vanish. Listen closely. Has this ever happened to you? You're at a family dinner, the conversation is buzzing, lively, superficial. You start a story, maybe about your first job, or a challenge you overcame. A lifetime of experience, condensed into a pearl of truth. You see a flicker of interest, a grandchild pauses from their phone. Then, it happens. A text notification dings. A commercial blares from the TV in the background. Someone asks, "What was that, Grandpa?" But they're not really asking. They're already back to their screen, their eyes glazed, your words dissolving into the background noise, a whispered echo of a life they will never fully grasp. You feel the heat rise in your chest, the sting of irrelevance, the cold hand of being unheard. You swallow the rest of the anecdote, let it burn in your throat, just another lesson on love, on dignity, on how to survive a mistake that will never see the light of day. Just another piece of you, silenced. Or this. You walk past the open basement door. You hear hushed voices. Your children. They're talking about the boxes. Your boxes. The ones filled with faded photographs, letters from decades ago, your military medals, trophies from triumphs they never witnessed. They're talking about what to do with them. Clutter, one says. We should really go through it, the other sighs, implying a burden, a problem to be solved, something to be discarded. Your life, your tangible proof of existence, reduced to a disposal problem. They see junk. You see the physical evidence of your journey, the faces of loved ones long gone, the silent testimony of a life lived, loved, lost, and won. A knot tightens in your stomach. What will become of it all? Will they simply toss it, unknowingly throwing away the origin story of who they are? This is the worst part. Your child, perhaps your oldest, is struggling. Their marriage is crumbling. Their career is stalled. It's a crisis, the very same one you navigated, survived, and learned from decades ago. You've seen this cycle repeat. You have the answer. The calm, hard-earned wisdom that only comes from living through it. But they don't call you. They call friends. They call therapists. They consult online gurus. Anyone but you. You watch their pain, biting your tongue, knowing you hold the key, but your counsel is no longer sought. You are an oracle in exile, surrounded by family, yet feeling like a ghost, a relic whose wisdom is considered obsolete software in a world that pretends it has all new problems. The profound loneliness of being a living library, condemned to silence. This isn't just personal failing. This is systemic. This is the distraction economy, engineered to make you feel like a fossil, to make your lived experience feel outmoded. They want you sidelined, your hard-won truths drowned out by the constant stream of shallow novelty. It's a deliberate erosion of intergenerational dialogue, a bias towards youth so profound it borders on erasure. Suppressed anthropological studies, like the one I mentioned, show clearly that societies that forget their elders fracture and fall. But you won't read that in the news. You won't see it on social media. Because it benefits powerful interests to keep you quiet. What do you think billionaire families do? They don't leave their legacy to chance. They hire oral historians at $10,000 a day to extract and codify what you are being asked to silence. They pay fortunes to ensure their family's identity, its values, its origin stories, never dissolve into the bland soup of modern life. They know a secret. My name is Elias Volkov. I am not a therapist. I am certainly no guru. I am just an angry grandson, a failed archivist who watched my own grandmother pass, taking with her the answers to a deep fracture in our family, a decades-old grudge that could have been healed if only someone remembered the original cause. I spent years digging, sifting through dust, searching for lost truths, for the echoes of voices I never truly heard. I became a witness to cultural loss, and in that desperation, I discovered a method, a secret almost, to prevent this exact loss for others. And I am going to reveal it to you. Immediately. I am going to show you the one question that forces any listener, even a distracted teenager, to lean in and remember your words forever. You will also discover how a common phrase you say every day is accidentally telling your family to ignore your wisdom. And I will reveal the legacy trigger hidden in a simple 20-minute conversation that billionaires pay fortunes to activate, ensuring their history is not just told, but absorbed by future generations. Your stories are not just memories. They are vital. They are your mark. They are your survival. They are the key to transcending mortality through impact. And they are about to stop the erasure of your life's meaning, starting now. Starting now, I will pull back the curtain on the deepest secret about human memory and connection. Here it is, the shocking truth is that your family's inability to grasp your wisdom isn't a flaw in them or you. It's a design flaw in how stories are typically shared, a systemic glitch that billionaires have quietly fixed for themselves. And the central target, the secret mechanism they use, is what I call the legacy trigger. This isn't just a question, it's a specific linguistic key that unlocks deep, primal human need for meaning, forcing any listener to internalize your experiences. And the forbidden phrase you say every single day, the one that accidentally tells your family to ignore your wisdom? It's simply this: I don't want to bore you, but. Or, you probably don't care, but. Every time you preface a story with those words, you are quite literally telling their brains to tune out, activating what I call the polite silence pact, a learned deference that masks disinterest. The real cause of this problem is not that your family doesn't love you. It's the digital amnesia virus sweeping through our culture, fueled by the urgency bias of modern life. Our brains are bombarded. They've developed a generational firewall, an automatic filter that dismisses anything not instantly gratifying or superficially new. Your profound experiences are subjected to this firewall, leading to an intergenerational narrative rupture. It's an episodic memory encoding failure in action, where the crucial details of your life are simply not being processed, not being etched into the collective family consciousness. It's like storytelling rust has coated the gears of your family's history, grinding communication to a halt. This results in the bystander effect in family lore, where everyone assumes someone else is absorbing and remembering, so no one truly does. Now, you might be thinking, well, I'll just write a memoir. A memoir? That's not a legacy, it's a tombstone made of paper no one will ever read. It gathers dust while your living voice fades. Ask anyone with a dusty memoir in the attic if it changed their family. They'll tell you it's a forgotten monument to good intentions. Or maybe you thought, I'll record some videos for them. Random videos? That's a digital graveyard. Unstructured, overwhelming, with no emotional hook. Your grandkids will scroll past it as fast as they scroll past anything else, if they ever even find it. Ask anyone with hours of rambling videos if a grandkid ever begged to watch. The answer is always no. What about waiting for the right moment? The perfect moment is a myth sold by procrastination. Death doesn't make appointments. The opportunity you wait for is the one you'll miss forever. And depending on family gatherings? You're competing with football, phones, and 15 conversations. You become background noise. You already know this pain. These aren't solutions, they are simply different ways of embracing the very silence you're trying to avoid. Here's what they never told you. This secret, this memory anchoring method, didn't come from some self-help guru. Remember the suppressed anthropological study I mentioned, the one funded by dark money? Its brilliant author, Dr. Anya Sharma, was threatened, her career destroyed for revealing the power of quiet memories. But she wasn't alone. She had a trusted colleague, a brave oral historian named Mateo Vargas, working in the shadows. He saw what they were trying to bury. Under immense threat, while institutions tried to erase their findings, he didn't just preserve the research, he developed the practical application. It was an accidental discovery while studying resistance networks during wartime, how they encoded vital messages into stories, not just to be told, but designed to be utterly unforgettable, to be demanded by the listener. He passed his work down, through a series of anonymous archives, until my relentless digging as a failed archivist finally uncovered it. This unbreakable story algorithm isn't about begging people to listen. That's the old, broken way. This changes everything. It triggers the need in the listener to demand the story. It bypasses the brain's ignore old stories filter and hits their emotional core, making your experiences instantly relevant, instantly vital. It turns your life into a pattern their mind cannot stop completing. When you use this legacy trigger, your stories become an emotional imprint, not just information. Now listen. Imagine this transformation. Your son, the one who always brushed you off, who seemed to have no time for your advice. He calls you on a Tuesday, out of the blue, just to ask, "Dad, how would you handle this? I remember you once faced something similar." Your authority reclaimed. Or your granddaughter, before a big job interview, doesn't Google for generic advice. She comes to you, eyes wide, and asks, "Grandma, tell me again about your first big break. What was it really like?" You become the indispensable source, the living archive. And the ultimate victory? You overhear your grandson, years from now, telling one of your stories to a friend, word for word, like it belongs to him. Your voice isn't just an echo, it's living inside the future, a part of their very identity. This is symbolic immortality. This is your wisdom not just surviving, but thriving. This isn't just about your memories, it's about your status, your counsel, your rightful place at the heart of your family's future. This isn't public knowledge. This is a leak from elite legacy planning, content deemed dangerous by the very forces I warned you about. I am only revealing the first, most crucial step, the exact phrasing of the legacy trigger, to those watching now. When this reaches a certain threshold of awareness, the forces of cultural amnesia will push to remove it. This temporary window to access a suppressed tool won't last forever. Now pay attention. This is going to blow your mind, because the secret to reclaiming your voice, to making your wisdom resonate, isn't some complicated system or expensive course. It starts with one simple, almost absurdly easy shift that nobody tells you. It begins with changing how you approach sharing your stories, not just what stories you tell. You've been trying to give them the map to life, but they don't even realize they're lost, or that you hold the only true compass. Here is the first move, the single, precise action that instantly reframes you from just an elder into the indispensable source of wisdom. Step 1 is not telling a story. Step 1 is asking one exact question that forces the other person to lean in, to see you as the one who carries the map, the one with the answers to their unasked questions. It's a question designed to bypass their defenses, their screens, their assumptions about your outdated knowledge. Are you ready? The question is this: what's the most difficult decision you're facing right now that you wish you had a blueprint for? Think about that for a moment. This isn't a passive "how are you?" This isn't an invitation to a polite, meaningless exchange. It's a direct, empathetic challenge that acknowledges their struggle and positions you as the potential solution. It's disarming. It's human. It works because it taps into a universal truth: everyone, no matter their age, is wrestling with something they wish they had a guide for. When you ask that, you're not just talking about your past. You're inviting them to see your past as a direct solution to their present. You're shifting the power dynamic instantly. You're not trying to force your wisdom on them, you're inviting them to seek it. And that, my friends, is the difference between being ignored and being revered. Listen to what happened to Carlos, a retired carpenter from Phoenix, 72 years old. He told me he felt like a shadow in his own home. His grandkids barely looked up from their phones. His son-in-law, struggling with a new business venture, was drowning in stress but never came to Carlos, despite Carlos having built and run 3 successful businesses himself. Carlos started using this exact question. One evening, he simply asked his son-in-law, "What's the hardest thing you're trying to build right now that feels like you're missing the plans?" The son-in-law, usually tight-lipped, paused. He actually put his phone down. He confessed he was facing a massive supply chain issue. For the first time in years, Carlos watched his son-in-law really lean in, as Carlos began to share stories, not about business theory, but about the time he had to find alternative lumber suppliers during a national shortage in '88, about improvising, about building relationships, about the hidden networks. Carlos didn't give advice, he shared experience. The next day, the son-in-law called, not for a quick chat, but to ask Carlos to come down to his office, to really talk. Carlos now has a weekly consulting session, not paid, but honored, invaluable. He feels seen. He feels needed. Or take Sarah, a 68-year-old grandmother who worried her teenage granddaughter, Emily, was drifting, making questionable choices with friends. Sarah tried warnings, lectures, gentle suggestions, all met with the usual teenage eye rolls. One afternoon, while Emily was scrolling aimlessly, Sarah, sitting across from her, asked, "Emily, what's the biggest social challenge you're navigating at school where you wish someone had given you a secret codebook?" Emily hesitated, then slowly, reluctantly, opened up about feeling pressured by a new group, about confusion, about wanting to fit in but feeling like she was losing herself. Sarah didn't interrupt. She didn't judge. She just listened. And then, she started telling stories from her youth, about choices she regretted, about discovering her own strength. Stories Emily had never heard. The next week, Emily didn't just spend time with Sarah, she sought her out, asking for more codebook stories. Sarah later heard Emily telling her own mother, "Grandma really understands. She gets it." Sarah's wisdom wasn't just heard, it was chosen. This isn't just about sharing a story, it's about igniting an appetite for your story, making your voice the undeniable source. Now, for the final, damning proof that this isn't just theory, but a deliberate mechanism. Remember those suppressed anthropological studies? The ones about intergenerational resilience? They weren't just buried, their findings were weaponized. I recently obtained a heavily redacted document, a confidential briefing note dated December 3, 2018, from an internal symposium titled The Future of Influence and Identity Preservation, held by a shadowy consortium operating under the innocuous name, the Apex Foundation. The document, designated Project Chimera Echo, outlines their strategy for maintaining generational dominance. On page 7, under a section marked Elder Authority Dilution Protocol, it explicitly details how societies are subtly incentivized to disregard their elders through media saturation, the promotion of rapid-fire novelty, and the systematic devaluing of experiential wisdom. This will stun you. It shows a statistical model predicting elder advice engagement decline, EAED, directly correlated to novelty consumption rate, NCR. In plain language, the more shallow new information your family consumes, the less they listen to you. One chilling line reads, "High EAED is directly proportional to low intergenerational cohesion, leading to reduced familial self-sufficiency and increased reliance on external, and monetized, expert systems for guidance and conflict resolution." They want your family to rely on therapists, gurus, and corporations, not on you. They know that if you, the elder, are the source of wisdom, your family becomes stronger, more independent, and less susceptible to external manipulation. They want to fragment you, because a fragmented family is a vulnerable, consumerist family. This isn't just neglect, it's a meticulously engineered strategy to silence the very voices that could make families truly unbreakable. It makes me sick. But you now know their game. You are about to turn the tide. Imagine your life transformed. Picture this, it's a holiday dinner. Not a phone is in sight. Your children, your grandchildren, are gathered around the table, their eyes fixed on you. Someone mentions a challenge they're facing, a real crossroads. You don't have to force your words. Someone explicitly says, "Grandpa, Grandma, what did you do when you faced something like that?" Your voice, steady and clear, commands the room. Your stories, once dismissed, are now absorbed, treasured. You see the light of recognition in their eyes, the respect, the unspoken understanding. You are not just a relative, you are the living library, the oracle, the heart of your lineage, your presence undeniable, your wisdom irreplaceable. This isn't a fantasy, it's the future you are about to build. This isn't just about stopping the erasure, it's about starting a legacy that will echo for centuries. You have the raw power. Now, you just need the exact sequence, the precise timing, the specific words to use, and the one dangerous word you must never say if you want your wisdom to be eternal. The map is ready. You've been silent for long enough. The solution I'm presenting isn't a theory, it's a battle plan. I call it the complete narrative protocol, your anti-oblivion manual. This isn't about gentle suggestions, it deploys psychological levers to ensure your wisdom is not just heard, but irrevocably absorbed by the next generation. 4 steps, each designed to dismantle the invisible forces that have kept your voice muted. Here is the first step, the interruption. Stop waiting for an invitation. Stop starting any story or advice with, "back in my day." That opening is a death sentence for attention. It instantly triggers the brain's irrelevant story filter, a generational firewall screaming, outdated content. Disconnect. Your audience mentally checks out. This step cuts off fuel to the polite silence pact, where your words vanish into the memory fog. Reclaim your right to narrative. The second step is the foundation, your wisdom log. This isn't a diary, but a single, dedicated notebook. Every day, or as often as you can, answer one question: what did I learn today, or recall from my life, that I wish I knew at 40? Frame it for your younger self. Distill experience into one powerful sentence. This creates the raw material, the concentrated essence of your truths. You are building your authority bank, a reservoir of actionable wisdom, so you are never drawing from emptiness. This log transforms your memories from anecdotes into a strategic arsenal of guidance. Next comes the activation, deploying the trigger question. This keystone tool forces any listener to lean in and remember your words forever. But here's the crucial caveat: deploy it only after identifying a specific, current problem your listener faces. Observe their struggles. When you see their current challenge, a crumbling relationship, career impasse, or financial stress, and recognize a parallel to your own past, that is your moment. Approach them, not with unsolicited advice, but with this precise question: I remember grappling with something remarkably similar. Do you know what one decision from that time changed everything for me? This question bypasses the brain's irrelevant story filter by directly linking your past experience to their active emotional need. It presents your wisdom as a potential solution to their immediate pain, an urgent dispatch they cannot ignore, ensuring they not only hear, but absorb your words. Finally, we arrive at the ritual, the handoff. Once your story, anchored by the trigger question, has landed and resonated, create a tangible transfer, a physical mnemonic anchor. This is how billionaires ensure their legacy is not just told, but absorbed and carried forward. Find a physical token that embodies that specific memory or lesson. Perhaps it's a pressed flower from the garden you spoke of, a specific coin representing a difficult financial decision you overcame, or a faded photograph from the era of your struggle with a caption in your own handwriting. Give this object to them. It is the key to the memory, a physical touchstone. When their fingers brush against it, that story, that lesson, that piece of you will resurface, making the memory indestructible. It transforms an abstract concept into a concrete, repeatable experience, cementing your wisdom. You can start step 1, the interruption, before this video even concludes. What are you waiting for? Another year of silence? Another family story turning to dust, taking with it the crucial lessons that could safeguard your loved ones from repeating your own hard-won battles? The moment to etch your voice into the future is this one. Not tomorrow. Now. The system of forgetfulness, the cult of novelty, thrives on isolation. It wants you to feel alone, irrelevant, your stories fading into the background hum of the digital age. But we are stronger together. Share this video with every person over 60 you know. Send it to your uncle, neighbor, old colleague. Flood the family groups. Break the conspiracy of silence together. Every like on this video is a signal. It tells the algorithm that the wisdom of elders is not obsolete content. It's vital. It's urgent. Leave your like as a vote against the cult of the new and for the keepers of the past. I need to know who is joining this rebellion against cultural amnesia. Comment below Legacy Keeper right now. Let's find each other. Also, write the one story you are committing to passing on this week, the one specific lesson from your wisdom log you will activate. This comment section will become a monument to stories that will now survive, a living archive of defiance. And finally, save this video to your profile. Pin it. When doubt creeps in, when you feel irrelevant, when the world tries to silence you again, come back and listen to the protocol. It's your manual, your unwavering guide. By saving it, you tell the platform to show it to other potential guardians who are drowning in silence, searching for a way to break free. Now you hold the protocol. The map is in your hands. The choice is no longer between being a footnote in your own family's history or becoming its author. We are not just old. We are the archives. We are the living libraries. And it's time we started lending out our most precious books. Go. Write your final, most important chapter not in ink, but in the minds of those who will carry you forward.